Hey guys, so this time back in nature in good old Switzerland. And so today I want to um, share something with you that I was really, contemplating on quite a bit over the last couple of days and even weeks, but especially the last couple of days. And it's the idea of really disconnecting and, you know, removing distractions and just to do nothing basically, or at least minimize activity for some time. And it's really interesting um, when you look into certain kind of traditions um, that actually everywhere they've done this in the past, that in this time of the year, in the winter time especially, um, in the time between the years, so end of December and January, people always used to do this, that they would just, basically, like, even nature is doing this. And if we are, you know, if we want to grow and evolve, then I think being in tune with nature is a really, really big aspect of that. Basically, yoga is all about becoming, aligned with the, not only the immediate nature, but even, the larger universal nature, the cosmic nature sometimes to talk about. So to be aligned with that, I think is really, really crucial. And I think a lot of the issues that we see in the world, that people face in their own life, whether health or mental imbalances, oftentimes are caused when people are not aligned with nature. So in one aspect of that I've been looking into a little bit, and there's actually a lot of literature about it, is you can also one way you can be aligned with nature is just being aligned with the seasons. And so right now we have the winter season, and if you just observe what's going on in nature in winter, then you can clearly tell that nature is going into a sleep, and activity is really, really minimized. Some of the animals are literally going into winter sleep, and so in every season basically, something is changing. In spring, new life comes up, and it's like, that's why in many traditions in the winter time, people, they would retreat. They would really, spend time by themselves. They would spend time indoors or in nature, but they would spend time in contemplation, in meditation, in introspection, and they would bring down activity quite a bit. So you might be facing this challenge that I used to face, and that I still face, is that when you're really active in the world, then it might not be that easy to switch gears into inactivity, and it's always like this voice in your mind that tells you need to do something, and it's almost like an automated habit that we form, that it takes some momentum to break out of when we're just occupied and busy all day long in our regular life. Then it's not so easy to wind down. But I think, and I am convinced now, that this is so crucial, because my guru, he used to say, or he says that the whole existence kind of arises out of nothingness. And this is like, I don't think it's really easy to grasp this. I think we can only grasp this like in a in an intuitive way. But I mean, even the sciences are coming, I think, to that the deeper they look into the material world in physics and other sciences, the more they realize there's like nothing substantial there. nothing material really there. It's all just energy vibrating at different, frequencies. So either way, it's really clear that there's an immense power in this kind of inactivity. And so I think it's something that we have to develop, this ability to really move from activity into inactivity. And I think it got really lost in the last couple of years, even more because we're so distracted by so many things, especially with technology. I'm a big fan of technology. I think there's so much potential in it, but at the same time we have to really learn to use it consciously. So for example, what I spoke about in the last video was, you could do a digital diet, just to pull out from it for some time. But even more importantly, I think it's important to develop conscious habits where on a daily basis, basically, we become more comfortable with inactivity, which does not mean necessarily like laziness. It initially, when you start doing this, like you start meditating, it could be the hardest thing in the world. You might have realized this. So don't consider it something lazy or weak, or unproductive. I mentioned this book, Deep Work, recently. You should read it if you're interested in this. There's a lot of arguments pointing in the way that these kind of off times where you don't do anything, they can increase your productivity immensely, especially for deep kind of work. But I don't want to go into this now. Oh, look at this nice wooden work. That's so amazing. So look at that guy. So I just want to encourage you to use this time of the year, the winter time, to really, try to spend time in nature. I mean, I think you can spend time in any time of the year, but especially now, it kind of, spending this time in nature, I think it brings you naturally in this state, because everything in nature right now radiates this calmness and this kind of inactive state. And at the same time, you can feel there's an immense power in it if you just become sensitive to it. So I feel that we need to develop this ability to, draw energy from around us and to draw knowledge from around us. Because I feel that whenever I spend time in nature, initially I did this just very intuitive and subconsciously. I would be drawn to nature. Now I keep, immersing myself more and more into it, and also try to understand what's going on. But I think there's really an energy exchange when we spend time in nature, and I literally can feel how I feel different, and I think a lot of inspiration. And there's been so many people, from Carl Jung to Henry Thoreau, and I mean there's just so many who would spend significant amounts of time in nature and walking and having their greatest insights while doing this. So even just from a productive point of view, this can be a big advantage. But I think especially for our growth and spiritual growth, it's really important to be aligned with it and to be able to draw that energy and power from it. Eckhart Tolle used to speak a lot about this in The Power of Now, how there's so much power in nothingness, and in the yogic science they speak about it. Sadhguru, my guru, speaks about it. There is something to it, and I encourage you to take that time, take plenty of time now, spend time in nature, spend time doing nothing. That doesn't mean to watch TV, it means to do nothing. Sit there in a room, meditate, maybe put on some incense and just enjoy the quietness. Guys, give me a thumbs up if you like this. I see you next week, and I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Leave a comment, let me know how you like to spend this time of the year. Bye.